Welcome to your arts course enrollment workshop. So this this session is for students who are joining UTM to study humanities, social sciences, communication, theater, and visual studies. This is a long list, and this is the absolute majority of our programs and disciplines. It is a very busy cluster of amazing subjects. And this is why we have a lot of facilitators here today. And I'm going to start with just quick introductions. So my name is Svetlana, and I am an academic advisor at the Office of the Registrar. And I'm joined here first and foremost by my wonderful colleague, Catherine, who is another academic advisor, who will begin this presentation. And then I will continue later on. But I'm very, very excited to also introduce a group of colleagues who come from the academic departments, and they are our wonderful academic program advisors. So I will invite them to introduce themselves and their departments and programs. And we will start with Megan.
Hey folks, it's so wonderful to see you all today. Welcome, welcome. My name is Megan, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm the undergraduate advisor here in the English and Drama department. So I support students in their English, drama, theater and drama, creative writing, game studies, and Canadian studies programs. It's great to be here. And I'll pass it on to Kayla.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kayla. I work as the academic advisor in the Department of Economics. So I support students who are interested in any economics programs, but also any programs that require economics. So if you're thinking of like a commerce or management program and you need an economics course, I'm your go-to person. And I'll pass it over to Christina.
Thank you, Kayla. Hi, everyone. My name is Christina, and I'm the program advisor for the Department of Political Science. And I work with students that are interested or are pursuing major specialist to minor in political science. We also work together with Kayla and another colleague in historical studies, because we have a combined specialist in economics and political science and history and political science. We also offer a certificate in politics, law, and social justice. So if you have any questions related to any of those subjects, you would come talk to me in political science. And I will pass it on to Sharon.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I'm the academic advisor in the Department of Historical Studies. We have 7 different programs, but our larger programs are classical civilizations, history of religions, women, gender, and sexuality studies. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions.
Excellent. And I think we have Rosa left.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's session. I am the academic advisor in the Department of Language Studies. So in my department, we have programs in Chinese studies, French studies, education studies, Italian studies, linguistics, with also some language courses that we offer that sometimes can be used in other programs of study. And also we have a global leadership minor as well in our department, and 2 certificate programs in global perspectives and computational linguistics. So I'll be here to answer any questions. Feel free to reach out about any of those programs.
Amazing. Thank you, Rosa. I also need to mention that we do not have all programs that fall under humanities, social sciences, and communications, and theater and visual studies represented here. If your program of interest is not represented here by an advisor today, it doesn't mean you do not belong or you're in the wrong place. You are in the right place, and we will answer your questions. And you will absolutely have an opportunity to meet your own program advisor later. I also want to mention that even though this webinar is for arts cluster, if you are here thinking that maybe you were admitted to arts, but you want to pursue something else, or you couldn't attend the sessions on Friday, this is still a very good place to be because a lot of information will be very similar and you can still ask questions about different programs. You are in good hands here today. And one of the reasons why you are in very good hands today and will have a lot of advice and expertise is that we also have two wonderful peer leaders, peer mentors. Their official positions are Eagle Connect squad leaders, and maybe you met some of them through your Eagle Connect participation. So I'm going to invite Sehaj and then later Rishma to introduce themselves as well.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Sehaj. I graduated this June with a double major in criminology and anthropology, anthropology with the arts side. I also did dabble in visual culture, so I have some level of knowledge on that as well. So excited to meet y'all and answer your guys' questions.
Thank you. And Rishma?
Hi everyone, my name is Rishma. My pronouns are she and her. I also recently graduated. I did a bio major, professional writing and communications major, and an educational studies minor. And I'm a part of squad number 9 with Eagle Connect. So excited to meet you guys as well.
Excellent. So before we begin, I will just quickly walk you through the logistics. We will start with a presentation. There will be a lot of information. This session is recorded. So if you have to step out, if you have a friend and who cannot attend you, or you would like to refer to this information later on, you will find the recording in a few days in the same place where you found your registration link for this session. And we will have 2 intermissions where the peer leaders will be invited to share their perspective on some very important resources with you. So please stay tuned for that. As we go, please note your questions. You can either type your questions in the chat and perhaps you will get an answer in writing as we go, or you can hold your questions until the end and we will have a Q&A session. All right. I think this is a very good time for me to pass this on to Catherine, who will begin the presentation.
Perfect. Thank you, Sveta. Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine. I am an academic advisor with the Office of the Registrar. So I work with Sveta in our department, as well as all the other departmental advisors. I message them with all of my questions all the time. I'm so happy that you all are here. I'm very happy to be here. I'm also myself a UTM graduate, and I did study in social sciences. So we love the arts. I'm so happy everyone is here. And if you're not part of this specific discipline, that's totally okay. You're more than welcome. Like Sveta mentioned, a lot of the information can be applied to your programs as well. So we're here to help everyone. So please note also, I might be looking slightly off screen because I'm looking at my other monitor to present. So please know I'm just reading off of here. Okay, so let's get, here we go, started. Okay. First off, before we begin, I do want to do an acknowledgement of traditional land. We wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Wendat Nation, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are very grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. So I know Sveta already kind of gave a little bit of a breakdown. So we're doing a presentation. There'll be a couple intermissions, and there'll also be a bit of a Q&A session at the end. So if you have questions, you're able to ask them there or in the chat. For some of the information that we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be highlighting some key dates. Probably the biggest thing you want to know is understanding your degree requirements and choosing your program and course selection, because you're probably feeling a little overwhelmed, which is totally natural, and being like, what the heck do I even do next? We're going to be walking you through it so you understand all the intricacies of it, and then also talking about the resources, the many, many resources we have here on campus and available online to help you get all these things figured out, and just highlighting also some next steps so you know kind of what comes next when it comes to paying your tuition and getting your student card, which we call T-cards. So something to note, if you're looking on timetable and you're seeing like, oh my gosh, I see, for like, say an example, Eco 101, there's people already enrolled in the course. How the heck did they do that? So something to note, the way course enrollment is broken down here at UTM is broken down based on the year of studies. So our upper year students have already enrolled in courses. Everyone in this chat here, who is incoming and who's a year one student, your enrollment date will be on July 15th. So starting on July 10th, when you log into Acorn, you're going to be assigned a very specific time slot just because our servers can't handle like thousands and thousands of students trying to all enroll in courses all at the same time. So every student will be given and assigned a specific time slot, and you can see that time slot starting on July 10th, and that time slot applies to July 15th. So again, it's always best to be a little prepared ahead of time and to see kind of and know what kind of time is going to look like on July 15th. After a very successful course enrollment, please note that the deadline to pay or defer your fees will be on August 18th. So this is something to note, whether you have to start figuring out how to like finance your education, getting money out, or applying for OSAP and deferring your fees or other scholarships. That's something to note. First day of classes this year is a bit later in September. It's on September 8th. Sometimes it happens a little earlier, depending whenever Labor Day hits. But this year for us, it is on September 8th. And something else to know is that the deadline to add or drop F courses or Y courses will be on September 21st. So this is an important thing to note because if you're feeling a little overwhelmed with course enrollment and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to like this class or not, please note that the first 2 weeks of classes are like a tryout period. So if you decide like, oh, you know what, this course I'm actually really not loving, or this timeline or schedule I'm not loving, you are able to change your schedule within those first 2 weeks. You can still get tuition money back and we can change sections. So know when you do course enrollment on the 15th, it is not like set in stone. There's a lot of flexibility and a lot of changes that can still happen because we know we all change our minds, which is like a good thing. We want you to change your mind and reflect as we go forward. So now when we're talking about course enrollment, all these things, you probably are feeling a little overwhelmed and you're like, hey, what the heck do I even need to put in? Like, I don't even know where to start, which can feel very big. Again, that is very normal. You're starting a new chapter of your education and your lives and your adulthood for a lot of you, which is very exciting. So something to know and something just to break down, the goal typically at university is to earn your degree. So here at U of T, we offer 4 types of degrees. And so that's your honors bachelor's of arts, which most people in this group would be working towards. There's an honors bachelor's of science, a bachelor of commerce, and a bachelor of business administration. So those are the 4 types of degrees you could earn at U of T. To be able to graduate with your degree, you have to have 2 things completed, your degree requirements as well as your program requirements. So when we see here, it's like degree requirements, which applies to all students, plus your program requirements, which changes per student depending on like what programs, like your majors and your minors that you're in. Adding those together, completing both of those, that is how you can successfully earn your degree. So something to know about kind of like degree requirements. Again, this applies to all U of T students. So all students have to complete a general set of requirements to earn a U of T degree. This includes completing 20 credits and earning a cumulative grade point average, we call that CGPA, of at least a 1.85 or more by graduation. And then there's also some other basics, like number 1, your program of study, which is known as your subject post here at UTM. So these are like your majors and your minors, so your different programs. So for that, you either have to do at least 1 specialist, or you have to do 2 majors, or you have to do a major and 2 minors. Those are kind of like the 3 standard choices of combinations you can do. You also have to do and complete your distribution requirements, which we will talk about today. This is basically to make sure our students are well-rounded and have a well-rounded education. Even if you are, for example, say a political science student, so that would fill out all your social science requirements, we still do require you to do a couple of electives or courses in other academic realms so you can have a well-rounded education. So for example, as a political science student, you would also have to do at least 1.0 credit in humanities and then 1.0 in science as well. So again, in general, you need to be able to graduate 20 credits in total, and then at least 13 of those credits have to be at a 200 level or higher. This basically just means like as you go through your education, you're going to have more specialized courses. This just helps to ensure that, say, you can't just take all 100 level courses. Those are introductory level courses to be able to graduate. As you go through your degree, you'll go into more advanced classes, which is the kind of like the general projection of everything. And at least at least 6 of those credits need to be at the 300, 400 level. But again, once you complete your program requirements and you see all the courses that you have to take, typically it just builds into each other. So most of the times these do kind of naturally all pan out together. But if they don't, or you have questions, that's why myself and all the program advisors and my colleagues in the Office of the Registrar, that is why we are here to help you understand and work towards your degree. So I mentioned again the program of study, which is we call a lot of the times post here at UTM. So at UTM we have over 180 programs to choose from, and so each student is going to have their own unique experience at UTM because some people might want to do certain majors or minors or specialists plus another minor. There's lots of options going forward. So if you were to do a specialist, that's all you technically would need to do. Because again, remember that's the one of the 3 standard combinations that you'd have to do. In a specialist, you would have to earn at least 10 to 18 credits in that kind of subject area out of your 20 credits. So it depends on which specialist you choose, but just, basically as a specialist, you'd have to take a lot of courses in a certain subject area if you want to complete that. Next would be your major. So typically any major, you'd either have to get between 6.5 to 9 credits in that academic discipline. And then your minor would be at least 4 credits, so typically 4 to 4.5. So again, you could either do 1 specialist, you could do 2 majors, or you could do a major and 2 minors. Those are the 3 standard combinations. If you would like to add on to that, like say if you want to do a specialist with another minor, that is something that we can help you work towards, but just know that the specialist, double major, or major and 2 minors, that is the standard like minimum of the program study combinations you'd have to create. So something to note is that you can really customize your degree. So by, again, choosing your post, you can specialize and focus on 1 program or combine up to 3 programs to diversify your interests and goals. So I'm going to use political science again for an example. I believe Christina mentioned it. Some students just do like a political science specialist. Others want to do maybe a political science major with a history major as well. So then you can change things up. And again, this is a really great time for you to explore your academic interests. And there's pros to both. Sometimes specializing is the way to go, depending on the pathway you want to go, or sometimes diversifying your academic disciplines and your academic interests can be very helpful as well. But again, it's all very customizable. So really a lot of the time it's really what you want, and we're going to help you get there. So when choosing your programs, again, I know it can feel a little overwhelming, which is why you're here to have this presentation so we can help you break it down. So number 1, the first step is really to explore. So your first year here at UTM, it's a really great time to explore all the different academic options you have here at UTM. So even if you had in your mind, you're like, I really, really want to study English. Like, this is what I want to do when I come in. That's fantastic. We want to support those goals, but we also want you to consider like, oh, maybe you're working with Megan in English, but then you also are like, oh, I actually really like history and I like Italian. So maybe you take an Italian minor and a history minor. So there's lots of all these options. And that's what we really want you to do, is to explore, especially in your first year, because you might find out that you really enjoy something more than you thought. Or for example, you might come in, I know I did, I came in thinking one thing and I was like, oh, that is not for me. And you switch your mind, and that is completely okay. And it's a very healthy way of being a student, trying things out and changing your mind and creating a new path. And that's what we're here for. And that's what we want you to do. After you're exploring, what's also important is that you're preparing. So some programs are maybe a bit more competitive than others. We will discuss what that means by competitive. So entry requirements are listed in detail to help you prepare. So again, some programs, you can't, let's say, like get into economics. I'm going to use one of Caleb's programs as an example. You wouldn't be able to get into an economics major unless you're doing the prerequisites for economics, like typically Eco 101 and 102. So it's always a great idea. Once we've decided this is the realm I want to go in, it's important that we're doing the research and preparing so we know how to get there successfully. And 3 is applying. So you will choose your program at the end of your first year. So typically students choose it at the end of their first year once they've earned 4.0 credits. So in your first year, you're in a stream and like that is what you're working towards, but you still technically have to apply for your post at the end of your first year, which sounds a little daunting, I know, but it actually gives you a lot of flexibility because now you can try out different things. And if you change your mind, that's totally fine. Even if, like, say you came here again for English, but then you decide you also want to do economics with that, then you have that option as long as you're doing the prerequisites. So again, overall, when we're choosing our programs, we want to, 1, explore and do some self-reflection. 2, prepare, look at all those details. The academic calendar will become your best friend. And 3, apply closer to the end of the year, see how you do more self-reflection and figure out kind of where you want to go based on your academic performance. So like I mentioned before, there are some programs that are a bit more competitive than others. So there are the way we identify our programs here at UTM, there's 3 types. So there is a type 1 program, meaning the program admissions is unlimited. So it's open to all students. There's automatic approval. There's no program requirements. So there's just completion requirements. So anyone can pursue this program. Easy peasy. You don't have to worry about doing necessarily any prerequisites to get in. You just have to worry about the courses you need to complete towards graduation. Type 2 is a bit more competitive. So these are programs that there are an unlimited space. However, there are specific program entry requirements that you need to hit. So this would include completing specific courses and achieving certain grades or CGPA. But it's kind of like once you hit that, it's like a guaranteed you have a spot in the program. Type 3 would be our most competitive types of programs. So these programs have limited spaces. So on the academic calendar for your entry requirements, it will list out the program requirements that you need to meet to apply to get into the program. But then a lot of the times too, because there's limited spots, just getting the bare minimum that is listed does not guarantee you a spot in the program as well. They're going to be looking at the top percentage of students based on who applies. So again, there's type 1, unlimited. Type 2 is a bit more competitive, but there are unlimited spaces. And then type 3 have limited spaces. So just something to note, kind of like food for thought. I know it's probably feeling a little overwhelming right now, and that is okay. This is why we're here. We're here to help you and walk you through it. So just a reminder for step number 1, take time and explore your UTM programs and plan ahead if possible. So now it's before course enrollment. We still have a lot of time before your course enrollment day on July 15th. Now is a really great time to explore the different options that are available to you. The fact that you're here and engaging with us and looking at all these supports is already a really great sign. So I'm really happy that you all are here. You're already doing a really great job helping prepare for your first year. Also to note, like if there are any specific courses that you want to take, we want to make sure that we have that in your schedule and we're adding that to your enrollment card so you know you can get into that course. Number 2, something to note, it's totally okay to change your mind or not know what you want to do. That is what university is for. University is here to challenge you in different ways and to help you explore. It is completely normal, and personally for me, I think it's very healthy to question what you want to do, who you want to be in this life. So first year is a really great time to explore your options. You can change courses if you find something is a better fit or not as a good fit, and it's completely normal to not know what you want to do. And if you are challenged by some things or things don't work out, that's also okay. Your first year and your university experience is really just about learning not only the subject areas, but learning about yourself. Some for three. Remember, I was talking about distribution requirements. So not only do we create, is this part of your degree requirements, to make sure that you have a well-rounded education, but it also kind of I don't want to say force, but it helps encourage you to explore programs outside of your area and can also count towards your elective. So again, if you're here as like a social science student, I know for me, like I was really hesitant about taking my science requirements, but I actually really loved I took anthropology and earth science, and those actually ended up, even though I didn't go into those programs, I really, really enjoyed learning about that. And that is what the distribution requirements are for. It's not asking you to become like a specialist in those areas, but it's a way for you to get a well-rounded education and to expand your academic knowledge. And number four, let's please remember, we are here to help you. You are not alone. Everyone is going through very similar situations as you right now. So any like stress or anxiety that you're feeling, I'm sure a lot of other students are having that. And please note that you are not alone. Myself and all my other wonderful colleagues, this is why we are here. We are here to help you. We're here to answer your questions and to figure out kind of like your next steps. So not only do we have our academic advising teams in the departments and the office of the registrar, we also have the UTM1 courses, we have the launch program, we also have the career center, which is great. Everyone is here to help support you. We're going to take a little bit of a break because I've been talking for a while. I'm sure everyone wants a break from hearing my voice. I'm actually going to throw it over to our Eagle Connect leaders who are going to give some more information, but it's also considered intermission time right now. So if you need to take a breather, take a walk, get some water, please feel free to do so. But if you want to stay, our Eagle Connect leaders will be facilitating a little exercise during our intermission.
Thank you. Okay, so I guess we're kind of going to take this time to talk about like what mine and Rishma's experience was like when we were first enrolling into our programs, our courses, like and our first time with just like the U of T system, the UTM system in general. So like when I think back to my first year at UTM, similar to kind of what's being talked about now, I wasn't sure what programs I wanted to complete in because I, full disclosure, want to try out different subject areas and different courses. Like I was admitted into social science, um, but I wanted to try anthropology, criminology, visual culture, political science, psychology. Yeah, like so it's a lot. And I think a lot of you guys, especially in the social science and humanities realm, will resonate with that. Um, so because of that, I wanted to take electives that would help me fulfill my degree requirements, obviously, but also, letting me explore my options, I will say.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good way to go about exploring your options. Just kind of curious, because I know like UTM has a lot of tools. What did you find
Mhm.
to Hedge that helped you figure out what you wanted to do?
Yeah, so that's a great thing about UT. Like we have a lot of different planning tools. Like, like if you love using planners, we have a lot of digital ones. For instance, I use the Degree Explorer, which I think a lot of you guys will be very familiar with once you get into UTM and start using it. But I would recommend just start looking at it as soon as possible because that's what I used for my degree requirements. It helped me see what did I need to complete? What electives can I pick? And, how am I covering my distribution requirements, like the, humanities requirements, the science requirements?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect. I love Degree Explorer. And then I guess like with Degree Explorer, how did you make sure that you were still meeting your program requirements while you're kind of exploring
Mhm.
everything?
So it's honestly, I would say like a combined kind of you got to explore like di different tools. One of them is Degree Explorer. The other one that's really important is the UTM academic calendar, which a lot of you guys already probably know of. And if you don't, strongly recommend to check it out. I saw a lot of questions about what is the, courses required to get into this program or that program. So that's kind of what UTM calendar, the academic calendar answers. So based on whatever program I was interested in, I went to the program and then it had all the different courses listed that would be required for me to take in my first year, in my second year, in my third year, and in my final year, in order to get the degree for that program. And it was really helpful because it also gave me, like one, I was on track. And two, it also gave me more flexibility in order to see, like, okay, for instance, if I'm interested in sociology and criminology, a lot of the times they have a lot of overlapping prerequisite courses. So if I wanted to do a criminology and sociology double major, I could take prerequisites that could go for both of them. So that's something that the UTM academic calendar and the Degree Explorer really helps in. And which is why now, like, I was really able to plan my degree out with the criminology and anthropology combination. That's what worked the best for me. But yeah, those are some tools that I would strongly recommend everyone to check out as soon as this webinar ends or even right now.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that's one of the great parts about UTM is the flexibility. And I really do agree that like first year is a good time to explore the different courses and programs that you are interested in. So yeah, I think to conclude, we would say like definitely do check out Degree Explorer and the academic calendar while you're still working towards what you want to do and while you still are exploring.
Perfect. Thank you so much, our wonderful Eagle Connect leaders. Yes, everything they say, they are the most current students. They are graduating students right now, so they have been through it not many years ago. So please know that they've gone through it. They know what they're talking about, and that's why our Eagle Connect leaders are here for you to ask them all their for any questions or concerns because they've been through it too, not too long ago, and they're a prime example of how our students can be super successful. And even if you face some challenges throughout the way, that's totally normal. You can come out as a really strong student and graduate really well. Okay, so I know that was a little quick intermission. So if you're not back yet, I guess you can't hear this, but if you still need some time away, please feel free. Again, like Sveta mentioned, the presentation is being recorded and it will be available to you in a couple of days, so you can always like rewatch it afterwards. But I want to make sure we have enough time for our Q&A session at the end, so I'm going to keep on going. So here we go. So something to note again, you're probably like, okay, I feel like I know what I'm doing. I know how to plan, but like, how the heck do I keep up with it? Like, there's so many ifs, ands, or buts. Like, what if I change my mind? Like, oh my gosh, totally normal and completely understandable why you might feel overwhelmed. So that's why the university has some like really, really helpful tools to help you stay organized throughout your years here at UTM. So something to note, one thing that advisors love, and as a student myself, I really loved was Degree Explorer. And this is a great way to track your progress. So I know it's hard to keep up with like program requirements and degree requirements. This is why something like Degree Explorer is super helpful. It allows you to check what degree and program requirements you have completed and what are still outstanding. So if you have an idea or a timeline towards graduation, you can know how to work backwards from there. You can use the planner option to forecast which courses you want to take. And then also kind of see, oh, okay, if I took this, how would this impact my schedule? How would this impact my progress to my degree? It is honestly a pretty user-friendly tool to use, but we do have a lot of videos as well that will be linked through your Quarkus for a Degree Explorer like tutorial video to show you how to use it. But honestly, like once you get the hang of it, like it's going to be your best friend. It's a really wonderful tool. So now you're probably like, okay, you've talked about like all these things. Like I truly like don't even know where to start. Like, yeah, in theory, I know I'm gonna have to explore these options, but what does that actually mean? These are your next steps to help us break it down. So when we talk about exploring, what's really helpful is exploring the academic calendar. And this is not something you can do in, say, like 5 minutes. I guess technically you could, but to make it really intentional and impactful, we really recommend that you take your time going through the academic calendar. You can explore the site and understand how to use it because it has so much useful information. And honestly, most of your questions that are probably popping up in your mind are already answered in the academic calendar. Also to note, when I say calendar, I'm sure you might think of like a 30-day calendar. An academic calendar is actually our official like list of all of our academic policies and procedures. So this documentation will also be like a really great way to help guide you through because you can, if you have a question about something, the standard policy is there that's included. So looking through the academic calendar is a really, really great time. A really great point at this time to start exploring, and that is your first step. Once you've gotten to know the academic calendar a bit and you think maybe you have an idea of what you would like to study, using something like the course enrollment workbook to help guide you through some important questions is really helpful because you're like, okay, for example, like I really want to do sociology. What does that mean? Like how do I even do that once I've decided I want to do sociology? Using the course enrollment workbook will ask you very specific questions and like you literally, I would recommend printing it and like handwriting in it and really breaking it down so it asks you the questions that you don't even know yourself to ask to help you organize and prepare for course enrollment day. And then also after that, it's really important to explore course options and do some self-reflection for yourself and asking yourself a few questions. I know this might be kind of annoying, but throughout your university career, a lot of the times, if you ask a question, an advisor is going to ask you what you want because that is our job to help you meet your goals. Unfortunately, we can't answer that for you. We are only here to help you figure out what you want. So a lot of it comes down to self-reflection, which I know is kind of annoying, but it is an important practice that you do, and you will soon get really, really good at it, and it'll be very helpful. So when we're exploring our course options, some things to consider would, how many courses do you actually want to take? How many courses, which specific courses, how many courses do you want to be a full-time student? Also, a question you're like, I don't even know how to read a course code. Like, I don't know what these course codes means. We're going to talk about that in a second. All of these things are things that we're going to talk about today in our session going forward as well. So if you have any of these questions, please know we are going to address them. And these are really great questions to be asking yourself. So when we're talking about reading the calendar, a lot of it is, especially at your point in first year, will be about reading the calendar to understand what type of courses are available here at UTM. But again, a lot of things are in code, like a literal code. So you're like, I don't know how to understand that. That is why I'm here to help you decode. So course codes provide you with really important information at a glance. So we're going to break it down right now so you can look at this like what might seem like a random group of like letters and numbers, and you're actually going to learn a lot of information from there. So in a course code, it actually provides you with a lot of information. It tells you what program what program the course belongs to, what level is the course, so first year, second year, etc. The credit value, so that will impact your full-time versus part-time status, when it's being offered, like is it being offered all year? Is it only being offered in the fall or winter? And also which campus is this course being offered on? So as a U of T student and specifically as a UTM student, you're here at UTM, but you have the option to take some courses at Scarborough or St. George if that's something you'd want. So it's really important, especially for course enrollment day. Please make sure that your course codes are lining up exactly to what you have written down that you need versus what's on Acorn, because there are a lot of similar courses that are maybe different by like one digit. So it's important that we're being accurate about that. So for example, I'm pulling from Megan's neck of the woods. We're going to look at the this course. So this is ENG 101 H5F. So you're like, okay, what the heck does that mean? So first we're going to break it down. The first three characters of any code is equal to the department. So for example, this one's a bit more obvious. ENG stands for English. That first digit, the first number that shows the level of study. So 100 level courses are first year or introductory courses. Whereas if this said ENG 401, for example, 400 level courses are the most advanced courses intended for upper year students. So as a first year student, the majority, if not all of your courses are going to start with that one for a 100 level course because you're a first year student and you're just taking intro courses right now. The last the last two numbers with that first number, so those three numbers identify each course in the calendar, timetable, and Acorn. So this is what differentiates, like say like ENG 101 versus 102. Those are two different courses that are going to teach different content. So a pro tip here is please pay close attention. Changing one digit here can make all the difference between research, for example, enrolling in a course, say you want to do how to read critically, or if you put in ENG 102, like I mentioned, that's would turn into how to research literature. So for this, it's really important that you're really accurate with the course codes because they do mean quite a bit. So this H here, or sorry, the seventh character will tell you the course weight is. So here for ENG 101 H5, the H shows that it is a half credit course, meaning if you complete this course and you pass it, you will earn 0.5 credit, so half a credit. If this was a Y, for example, that would be 1.0 credits, and that would be typically a full year course. The 5 here indicates which campus the course is being offered at. So 5, majority of your course codes are going to end in 5 because you're going to be taking them here at UTM. 1 shows, if it ended in a 1, that would be at St. George, and a 3 would be at UT Scarborough. So again, a lot of, especially these general intro courses, St. George would have the course as well as Scarborough. So almost everything would be the same except for that last number. So you really want to make sure you're making sure it's a 5 there. So you're taking it here at UTM. Also kind of like a pro tip, FYI. So again, you can take courses at other campuses. So we recommend that you reserve your first year to UTM courses and explore other campuses in your upper years. The transition to university in general can take a lot. We all know if you are from the GTA, you know GTA traffic. So we recommend in your first year, really try and stay focused, come to campus, be involved in campus, take your courses here, become a part of the UTM community. And then obviously, like as you go throughout your degree. If there's like specific courses that aren't offered here that are only offered, say, at Scarborough or St. George, then that's a really great way of exploring your different options. But in general, the majority of your courses, if not all of them, will be here at UTM. And then, so for this example, the F at the end, the last letter will be either an F, an S, or a Y. So for our example right here, it is an F. This identifies the session that a course is being offered and the academic duration of the course. So if it's an F, like our example here, that means it's going to be for September to December. So in my mind, the F stands for first. That's first semester since our academic year starts in September. So F for me, I think of, okay, that's for the first semester. So that's from September to December. And then that's it. And then if it were to be an S, that means it would be from that would mean it would be the S to me stands for second semester. So then that would be from January until April. And then a Y would be from September to April. And for me, that stands for the year. So that means like, oh, okay, I'm going to be in this course all year long. So all the way from starting to September, all the way to the end of April. So anyways, that's something just like important to know. The majority of your courses, if your course ends with a Y, typically it is worth 1.0 credits. There are a few courses randomly that don't align with that. So, but it's always important to make sure you're understanding what the whole course means and what the course code means. So if you see something and like one of the course code characters are off to what you thought, it's not something I want you to be like, oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. This is something we want to identify and make sure we understand what is going on because this could really impact your schedule. So just something to note there. We are going to be talking about building your schedule and kind of like when you find a course that you want to take, check to see if it's being offered, all those great things that my colleague Sveta will facilitate. But for right now, we are going to take a little breather again. So if you need to get up, stretch your legs, please go ahead. If you want to stay here and continue learning a little bit, our wonderful Eagle Connect leaders have another exercise for you all, or a little discussion. And I'm sure you don't want to hear me anymore, so I'm going to throw it over to our Eagle Connect leaders.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, so we've been talking about, the different courses and Degree Explorer and everything, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys do want to know about like the actual schedule of it all. So how do you really build your timetable, right? So Rishma, like if you wanted to kind of go about your experience, how did you kind of build your timetable in your first year? Because I remember I was a little bit overwhelmed when trying to fit everything together. I remember like there's a lot of people online often comparing timetables, even like, hey, is this too much? Is this too overwhelming? Is this good enough? So, what was your experience?
Yeah, for me, it was honestly the same. For me, especially since I came from the science stream, it felt like there was a lot with each course where they had like different lectures, some had tutorials, some had labs, and it was just really confusing to try to make everything come together. And so one tool that really did help me was the UTM timetable builder. Um, you might have already known this, but it is a planning tool where you could build different schedule options with the UTM courses, and you could see all the lecture tutorial time and check if there is any conflicts that are occurring. And this is just kind of like a planning prep tool. And I find that this will be helpful before, like if you make a schedule before enrollment even opens. So I found that to make everything easier for me.
Yes, I agree. Honestly, Timetable Builder is one of my favorite tools to use. I still used it until my um like my last year at UTM, and even as an upper year, I think I use it every year because it pretty much is like a preview of what will actually show up on your Acorn once you are enrolled in your courses. So you can just go into Timetable Builder and just, put the different courses and see what it'll kind of look like. Because I know some people want all their classes to be on one day, and then some people want it to be spread out. Um, but yeah, and was there any other resources along with the timetable builder that helped you with your first time?
Looking back, I think one other tool besides the timetable builder was the course enrollment workbook. I found that to be super helpful because they have like step-by-step planning guides where you could kind of map out your courses, your program requirements, and figure out what you should prioritize before, again, the enrollment process. And I remember for me, I did the timetable builder and I also did the course enrollment workbook and I filled it out. And this just kind of made me like double check that I got everything that I needed to do before the enrollment process instead of just kind of going in blind when enrollment day opened.
Yeah, I agree. The workbook is a really great starting point. It also really made the whole process just feel less intimidating. And I love how there's like breakdowns of everything because right now, I think for everyone, it's just like a huge mesh of different things and just new lingo. Like we're just learning about the like course codes. But with the workbook, it just breaks everything down in an easy way. I also recommend attending as many check-ins as possible and asking questions. Um, if you're unsure about anything, just ask questions. There's so many supports. Literally, as Catherine said, like you don't have to figure it out on your own. There's so many resources. We're here. There's people literally working. Their jobs are to answer your questions. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I guess like our final advice would be to use the timetable builder and the workbook. And again, just as the hedge said, feel free to ask for help if you need anything. Enrollment was stressful for us as well and can be stressful overall. But I feel like once you start planning it out, it will be easier. But feel free to ask for help, and hopefully, where it will be an easy process once enrollment opens.
Thank you so much, Rishma and Seraj. I would just wanted to stress again and again that a lot of help, individual one-on-one help, is available from squad leaders. They are your absolutely best experts on transitioning and enrolling in your first year courses. They've been trained for it, and most importantly, they've figured it out through their own experience, sometimes through overcoming challenges and all this overwhelm that some of you may feel. So I would ask you ladies to please post again, and I know you shared it, but please just drop the link to that place where students can find the booking link to book a one-on-one with you. As advisors, as professional advisors, we are going to be available starting from now. So this is the first kind of formal session that we are offering for you, giving you the formal presentation, and there will be a Q&A. But we will offer drop-in sessions where all you new students will be able to ask a lot of questions for professional academic advisors. But we do not have capacity, unfortunately, for like one-on-one attention for you this summer. But we have something much better for you, and that is your one-on-one opportunity with squad leaders. So please use it. And if you want to sit down with someone one-on-one and talk about your specific situation. But I want to get back to Timetable Builder, which is one of the two amazing tools that Rishma just left you with. The link is there. It's very easy to find. And I just want to repeat at the risk of annoying you, but I want to repeat how important this tool is for all students when building their timetables. Acorn is, of course, the application where you will be enrolling in your courses on starting on July 15th. But Acorn is a bad place to look for courses because Acorn has very limited capacity to give you information about course. Each course and every course, you may be blocked from enrollment in a course, and you will not find out why. Timetable Builder will explain. Timetable Builder allows you to create your timetable or different versions of your timetable ahead of time, which if you haven't done that, it is my strong recommendation that you do it after this webinar. Especially if you're one of those many students who want to explore in your first year and you want to try different disciplines and you want to see whether you maybe want to major in anthropology and political science, or maybe have a political science major and 2 minors and whatnot. You can build several versions of your timetable and see how it works for you and for your life, not only for your academic plan. Catherine, since you're sharing slides, can we please go back to next slide? Sorry, go to next slide. Thank you. So several important notes as you are hopefully preparing to sit down or already are working with Timetable Builder to build your schedule for your first year. Make sure that if a course you're enrolling in has a lecture, tutorial, and practical, you need to enroll in one of each. Some courses only have lecture sections, and they may be multiple, or there may be just one. And some courses have lectures and tutorials. Some courses have lectures and practical. It's more STEM courses have practicals usually, and social sciences and humanities courses tend to have tutorials, but some courses may have all three. So make sure that you enroll in all. We go to the next slide. Thank you. Another very important note is about the course loads. Many students come in wondering, okay, how many courses is a good load? Well, let's start with what is the official definition of a full-time load. It means to be enrolled in at least 3.0 credits for the fall-winter session. So all of you are studying in the fall-winter session. It has 2 terms, fall and rather first and second, designated as F and S. Sometimes we also call them fall and winter. So 3.0 translates usually to 6 half courses. Most of our courses are half a credit worth. Some are Y, and those are worth full credit. If a student takes less than 3 credits, they're considered part-time. So anything between 0.5 and 2.5 would be part-time student, would be considered part-time enrollment. Can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. And this is a very good place to call on to all international students, regardless of your location. If you're not a domestic student, if you are here on study permit, you're an international student. And as part of your study permit requirement, you must remain full-time in fall-winter sessions, in all fall-winter sessions. Summers do not count. Summers you may study or may not study at all. It is up to you. This means that you cannot drop down below 3.0 credits. And please make a note of this slide. Feel free to take a picture, just Google. It's so much easier these days to find everything just by looking it up. International Education Center at UTM, which provides all kinds of help for international students when it comes to immigration rules. We have wonderful immigration advisors. You can book or drop in for immigration advising if you have any questions about your study permits, including delayed study permits, how to apply, how to interpret communication from IRCC, understanding your requirements. Please do not rely on advice from any third parties and don't try to figure it out. It can be difficult, but rather book an appointment with an immigration advisor, or at least start with reviewing information from or on our International Education Center's web pages. They also offer specific transition support and programming for international students. They are the place to go for your university health insurance plan, which is a very important thing for international students who do not have Ontario health insurance, and they will be receiving this as part of their university package, so managed by the same center. They also offer and help you figure out employment opportunities as an international student, but also for all students. It is not only for international students, your global learning opportunities. And if you are one of those students who are excited to study abroad or engage in global learning opportunities even without leaving Canada, first year is a good year to start figuring it out and planning it. So all of it you can find when you explore the website of our International Education Center. Okay, but going back to the course load, which is where I started from, the 3.0 would be the absolute minimum to be considered full-time student for whichever reason. You may also need that, or that may be important for you if you are on any kind of provincial funding. But most students go take more courses than that. Usually the standard course load is 5 credits in the fall-winter session, which translates to 2.5 per term, and it means 5 courses per term, whether it's a year-long course that you're taking or 2 half courses, ending in December and then starting in January again. Many full-time students actually take less than 5 courses. Especially in the first year, actually it is not a bad idea at all to start with 4 courses. And then you can enroll in summer session to catch up. Some students actually prefer that, and they study all year. They take summer school every year, starting from after their first session. And that allows them to take less courses per term and have more time to engage with their courses. It really is very individual. And to answer some questions that I noticed in the chat, it is your responsibility to build a conflict-free timetable. And unfortunately, it may not be easy all the time. And it means that if you find yourself in the situation when you want to take 2 courses and they conflict with each other, and by conflict, I mean any section conflicting with any section. If you need to, if, for example, you cannot find a tutorial for one of your courses that is not in conflict with any other section for any other course, that is a conflict. You have to be available for all sections for all courses in a specific term. And sometimes it means that you need to prioritize, choose which course you will take this session, and then postpone taking the other course until later, which is quite okay if we're talking about elective courses or courses that are not required or are not prerequisites for other courses that are required for your programs. Okay, thank you. So you can make changes to your timetable throughout summer with no penalties until the final drop deadline, which is later in September. And maybe someone can post or add the link to the important dates website to the chat. That would be amazing, because that is a very important link to bookmark and always consult. Your deadlines are very important and are taken very seriously at the university level. So your July 15th date is the date where ideally you want to enroll in all the courses that you think you may want to take. My tip also is to enroll in more whenever possible. So even if you are thinking to take 4 courses only in your first term, which is a good idea, enroll in 5, maybe, unless you absolutely know what courses you want to take. As Kate mentioned earlier, the first 1 or even 2 weeks are considered the shopping period, and you can make that decision, and sometimes it will be very clear to you after even the first lecture that some course you may fall in love with it, or maybe the opposite, and it will be easier to make that choice. At some time later in July or August, and I cannot think of the date right now. If someone knows the date, please mention it in the chat. You also will actually be able to add a 6th course, and not right away, but at a later date, the cap will be lifted, and you will be able to enroll in up to 6 courses. Again, you can enroll. An absolutely horrible idea to try to take 6 courses in your first term, but it may be a good idea to add a course in case you are maybe waitlisted for a course you actually want, and this is a backup, or maybe you don't know which one you want to take. Then enroll in more, try them all, and then make your decision in the first week of September. Okay. As I already mentioned, prioritize courses that are required for your program if you are aiming for a Type 2 or Type 3 program. Consider many different factors when choosing your courses. Consider your interests, your academic strengths, whether you have your high school prerequisites. Don't be afraid to try something. You're not, married, or it's not engraved in stone if you were admitted to a specific stream. Your first year is to explore, and we encourage you to do that. And to take your distribution requirements in your first year is a very good idea for this reason, precisely because it allows you to explore. So let's say you're thinking maybe about anthropology, but you're not quite sure, and your kind of main idea is to do political science. Well, or maybe this is not the best, maybe English was your original idea, but you're really fascinated by anthropology. Well, take that anthropology plus. In the worst case scenario, if you don't like it, you will use it as your distribution requirement for social sciences. So that gives you that flexibility to explore while also fulfilling your distribution requirement. Okay. And your programs will be chosen, hopefully, if everything goes well, after your first fall winter session in April 2027. Okay. So this is just one example of how your timetable may look like when you build it on your timetable builder. The design, the aesthetics will look probably different, slightly different, but this is exactly what you will get. And most social sciences and humanities students have a lot of flexibility, again, as we just mentioned many times in this presentation, as to what courses they will take, and a lot of kind of, authority over building their own timetables. Unfortunately, it is not as easy to simply manage your time. Many students ask, oh, can I have 1 or 2 days free, squeeze all my courses in 3 or 4 days? I would like to work part-time, or I have other things to do. That may not be as easy because of the the space is a little tight and it's not as easy to build schedule according to, your preferences in terms of when you would like to take classes and have free time. But you do have a lot of flexibility in terms of what courses to take and sometimes when to take them. Many courses are offered in multiple terms, and you can choose when to enroll in them. I think we have an example for S term as well. So again, this schedule looks like a student really is interested in more than 2 programs. They're exploring, as I mentioned, philosophy, as a humanity, political science, anthropology. They're trying linguistics. And then they will probably have a much better idea even after their first term. And remember that you will have an opportunity to make changes to your winter term a lot longer. Again, refer to the important dates, but many questions get answered quite soon after a few weeks in your first term. You don't forget to go ahead and make changes in your winter timetable. If you make those decisions, the deadlines for S courses are much later. They're in early to mid-January, so you will have time to shop around and make those changes for your winter term. All right. Going back to Timetable Builder again, what you see on the screen right now is an example of how it would look for if someone was checking out Anthropology 101. Timetable Builder, as I mentioned, gives you a lot of information about the courses, and one of the most important ones would be enrollment controls. So some courses are restricted to students who are either admitted to a specific stream or already enrolled in programs. So those courses you won't be able to take in your first year. They also are restricted to UTM students. For example, UTM courses are restricted to UTM students until a certain date, and same goes for other 2 campuses. So until that certain date, which is available on Timetable Builder, you won't be able to enroll in St. George courses. And for example, St. George students won't be able to enroll in UTM students, and so forth. So if there is any enrollment control, you will be able to find it by checking on enrollment controls, more information. And also there is, towards the left side of the screen, there is more course information field where you can expand it and also see all the prerequisites, core requisites, exclusions to the course. And, that will help you make sense whether this is a good time for you to take the course, whether you are even able to enroll in it or not. Okay. All right. So payment methods. Right now, we are focusing on enrolling in your courses. This is your first priority. This is what you should be working on. But then to secure your spot in your courses, once the enrollment is done, you will have to either pay or defer your fees. Okay, so you have several options to make your payments. You can do it through your bank. You can do it by credit card on Acorn, or by using higher education points. And students who are either who are on some kind of funding or have a scholarship can also defer their fees. And that is for, as I said, students who are on OSAP, on scholarships, and some sponsorship agreements. If you have any questions about that or think that your situation is complex in some way, you can always consult with a financial aid advisor. You can request an appointment. So if you're one of those students, feel free to post a question in the chat, and we will send you, and we will post a link. Okay. Okay. So summarizing most important points that we addressed in the last section of this presentation. Choose courses for both fall and winter term. Some students do make this mistake, thinking that what matters right now is only fall term, and they forget to plan and then to enroll in their winter courses. don't make that mistake, because spots will be gone and you will be scrambling to just pick up what's available. So build your timetables right now for both terms. You will be able to make changes much longer for your winter term, but it's better to have your timetable and make changes later. Then don't forget, when time comes, that's not soon, that is in August, to pay or defer your fees. Again, refer to the important dates webpage for more information. And your T-card and U of T accounts, maybe peer leaders can post links to those as well. I know that they were posted earlier, but once you activate your UTOR ID, that is all online process, you are ready to pick up your card. So if you are around, I encourage you to stop by UTM, maybe take a tour walk and pick up your card as soon as possible. It will be a little busy during the first days and weeks of the fall term, but those of you who are not here yet and will have to deal with that busyness, well, we have a little Tim Hortons cafe right near there, so you can keep yourself nourished while waiting in line, and you will be able to pick up your plastic T card later on. What is much more important is to activate your UTOR ID, which is essentially the electronic version of your T card that gives you access to all the platforms that you need as a student. All right. So that concludes the formal part of the presentation. This is our contacts here. Again, we will record and post this presentation, and right now is the time for us to answer questions.